And in everything that you do, you always need to put your best foot forward. I just believe that, the key to success sometimes is actually taking things seriously.
Yeah.
Be kind to yourself. Be very kind to yourself. Love yourself. Appreciate yourself. Celebrate every little win you get and enjoy that moment. Because, life is short. I applied for more than 50 opportunities.
Wow.
And all the 50 opportunities, none of them got me through. I was, broke. Why am I still criticizing myself? I always thought that I would be a journalist.
Ooh,
Yeah.
you're more likely to be a celebrity doctor. I want to say thank you very much for your support.
Zarina.
Always.
You're welcome.
Always.
You're welcome. I'm happy to be here and happy to support you.
I want us to have conversations that would really inspire people, and I want us to be as authentic and as ourselves as possible. And I must say, you inspire me.
Aww.
Yeah, and I'm sure you inspire a lot of people out there.
I'm privileged to inspire people, and I also get inspired. So it's just like a cycle that keeps on going, and I'm grateful for that. I feel blessed.
Yeah. So at the time we met, you had been awarded Achieving Scholarship.
Yes, I remember that.
Yes, this was sometime in 2019.
Yes, in 2019, when we were supposed to be roommates.
We were supposed to share a flat together, and that didn't happen.
And what happened was that I slide you.
Well, yeah, kind of, but you've been forgiven. And here we are. But I think it's also because of our shared values. And I've said this to you before, and I don't mind saying it here. I intentionally made you my friend.
Oh, really?
And I think, yes. And I think it was very natural, but also intentional. Because I think that for some of us, we're very intentional about who we allow into our circle, into our space, and what kinds of friendships you allow. That's like, oh, I think she's cool. And anyway, but that's a backstory. Today, I want us to talk about you, your motivation, your learning curves, the things that drive you, the challenges that you face, and ultimately what it is about your experiences that people can learn from. So, you recently won an award. Yeah. And the reason I even brought up Achieving at the beginning was because we see that Dr. Cassandra has won Achieving Award to study at the London School of Hygiene and Tropical Medicine. She won this other award. She's launched this. She's now, what's the recent one? World Health Organization?
Yeah, the Technical Advisory Group.
Yeah, you're just like, very humble, and I'm just like hyping you up. But yes, you've done all of these amazing things, and I think that people would sit behind their screens and see the things that you're sharing and your wins. And I want us to delve into that, right? Are you all about wins and successes, and do you have any challenges? But before we get there, I'm a bit interested in your childhood, about what planted this seed of wanting to succeed in you and wanting to go for what it is that you want.
Well, I think most childhoods, I had a very happy one, and I'm very happy for that. I had beautiful parents. I have great siblings. My family is it's really amazing. They've always been supportive of all my endeavors, and that's something that I am always grateful to God for. And when I was growing up, my mom, not let's say my parents, because not just my mom, my parents really inculcated, important values into me, specifically when it came about like volunteering and, providing community service. So even from childhood, I realized that, when you have certain things, you also need to ensure that you share it, with the less privileged ones or with other people. And that's when I started, like, at least going to the church, and ensuring that I serve as much as I can, and I share my toys with the children. I provide certain clothes that I don't use, for charity. And there, I started interacting with some of the children, and just being able to understand that, okay, you are in a privileged position to be able to do this. And how can you like keep doing this, ensuring that, you can bring smiles to people's, people's faces, children's faces, right? And so that's how it began, right? And when I decided to become a medical doctor, it was with the thought that I want to improve lives, specifically in terms of health outcomes, and that's why I became a medical doctor. But while I was in medical school, I had an epiphany that for me to be able to improve health outcomes for women and children, I will not be able to do that in the type of profession I am in, because the type of profession I was in, which is medicine and surgery, it's more, at least from the angle I was coming to, it will be more of curative. So I'll be treating diseases, and I didn't want to treat diseases. I wanted to be able to address the root causes of these diseases. So looking at the social, economic equities, right? The inequities that occur in certain communities. Like, for example, some people don't have access to clean water. Some people don't have access to proper nutrition, right? Some people don't have access to health information. And so I wanted to be able to focus on that rather than seeing patients in the clinic and be saying the same thing that I keep on saying. And in ways, sometimes it does change certain people's behavior, health practices, but in certain cases it doesn't. And so I am the type of person that I want to ensure that it does. And for me to be able to ensure that it does, I have to get my hands dirty and ensure that I go to where the problems are and solve them, of course, with the beneficiaries, not by myself, because I don't know better than the beneficiaries. We need to work hand in hand together to be able to do these things. And so that's where my motivation comes. And to be honest, looking at my career now, because it's not the conventional type, right? I deviated from clinical medicine completely to public health, and even in public health I have deviated to public health consulting and social entrepreneurship. So my path is not linear. It's a bit, scattered, but I find so much fulfillment in it. And I'm just grateful that, throughout my journey, I had people, I had friends, I had support, I had resources to be able to bring me to where I am today.
Wow, that's super, super inspiring. So did you ever think about any other career path, or it's always in medicine?
No, certainly. So I always thought that I would be a journalist.
Ooh,
yeah, I wanted to be a journalist, but at some point, because I'm the type of person that, though I like to do things behind the scenes, not in front. And so when I used to look at the newscasters, I knew that, okay, I have to always, be with the camera, and the camera will be on my face, and I'll have to be able to speak the news. So I'll go somewhere and, put the mic into people's mouths and, tell them to speak. And also, you have to be very quick and so much. So I felt it was a bit stressful. And because of my personality, I felt it wouldn't fit with that profession. So that's why I didn't. But I mean, despite the fact that I didn't, I still ensure that I write. I still ensure that I share information. And so in a way, I believe that I am contributing to medical journalism.
Well, you are. I don't know if, because there was a time you shared something during your time at LSHTM. When they're like, who is more likely to be this? And someone said you're more likely to be a celebrity doctor. Do you remember?
Yes, I remember. And it's so funny because I was wondering, where did that come from?
Yeah.
Because in my class, I was quiet. I wasn't really, all out there or very vocal. No, I just did my thing, But I was more of course, social media.
Yeah.
I used social media to really amplify my voice rather than, using my real voice and coming out and speaking and all that.
Yeah.
So when they said that I would be a celebrity doctor, that was very funny to me. But somehow it's coming.
Yeah. So speaking of social media, was there a very intentional effort to build a brand or put yourself out there what was the approach, and how did that happen?
So that's such an interesting question, because so I joined social media around 2010. So that's when because I remember that I was one of those last people to join, like Facebook, right, Instagram, and even Twitter. I joined very late because I was just not really feeling that. It wasn't
Yeah.
my thing. I wasn't so into it. But when I started volunteering with the New Child Initiative for Africa, I started, going to the communities, and I wanted to document my experiences and be able to share it, right? So I wasn't about, taking selfies. No, I was more about maybe, for example, speaking to the children and a picture being taken. So what it's called now, action picture. But I
Yeah.
didn't know that. All I knew is that I just wanted to document my experiences, but not in a way that I'm just, promoting myself, but
Yeah.
more of promoting the story I'm trying to get from the community.
Yeah.
And so that's how it started. And I didn't realize that, as I was posting these stories, and these pictures, I was also, of course, ensuring that the caption always, aligned with the picture.
Yeah.
Right. So I was very intentional about that because I wanted to ensure that the story I'm portraying matches, my experience. And so that was definitely intentional, strategic. But as time went on, it was quite interesting for me to see how, people basically started doing what I was doing, right? And then I even started hearing that, oh, there's something like, your digital footprint and how you need to promote yourself. I didn't even know that. It was
Yeah.
until I started attending some webinars and master classes, specifically for women, about how to advocate for yourself, how to create a personal brand. And they talked about these things. But however, they weren't talking about it in the aspect of being an advocate, but
Yeah.
more about like, maybe you are a businesswoman, you're an entrepreneur, you're a journalist, you're a lawyer, that type of thing. But I just decided that I'm going to apply that to my profession as well. And so far, it has been really great.
Yeah. So based on what you've done, because I think that you've built a certain level of credibility as well, certain level of recognition, and you've also really truly inspired people through the content and then showing them what is possible. And if someone, let's say we have a young doctor who is also thinking of, oh yeah, because I'm pretty sure there is someone out there who's always looking at your Instagram and your LinkedIn and going like, oh, I want to be like her. So from the angle of social media, what are like, just briefly, what would you tell them to do in that sense?
I think what I will tell them to do is to be visible. You need to be visible because everyone is doing amazing things. I know some people don't think so, but everyone is doing amazing things. But nobody will know what you are doing unless you are sharing it. Whether you are sharing it, via visuals, you are sharing it via your voice, right? But you need to do that.
Yeah.
And thankfully for me, I was doing it, but I didn't realize I was doing it. And by the time I started getting the benefits of my efforts,
Yeah.
that's when I realized that, oh, wow, I was building my personal brand. I was using social media to amplify my voice and amplify the voices of the communities that I serve.
Okay.
Right? And so I just realized that this is it. And so what I would tell is, and this has to start from the beginning, right? As immediately you enter not even your university, even before then, right? Especially if you are looking at creating a brand, right? You definitely need to ensure that you are visible and you are using the resources. So for example, social media is a resource. So you leverage on social media to promote yourself, to promote your work, to promote your thoughts.
Yeah.
Because you might be a thought leader,
Yeah.
right? Or you might have a fashion sense too, and you want people to be able to dress properly, right? Or
Yeah.
etiquette, right? Anything you can give out, you definitely need to be able to use social media. So this is not the time to say, oh, social media is not my thing. Social media might not be your thing, but this is what is currently ongoing and you must contribute to it, because otherwise nobody will be able to see your work. Nobody will be able to hear about your work. Nobody will even know you. And the opportunities that are out there will not be presented to you.
That was going to be my next question to you. What would you say are some of the opportunities that you have enjoyed by or as a result of putting yourself out there?
There are a lot of opportunities. Like, for example, the first opportunity I ever got, once I started, being very intentional about my personal brand and about putting my work out there using Instagram and Facebook, was a feature by a newspaper. So I used to think that for you to get featured by a newspaper, you have to pay certain amount of money, right? Because I see it, you see sometimes seeing some say, oh, get a cover in this journal and pay this amount. So I used to think that, I will never be on any journal. Just for someone to actually reach out to me and say that, oh, they have been seeing my work and they like what I do. And so they want to see if I'm interested in being featured. Of course, I was interested in being featured. But I wanted to, of course, confirm that I hope they are not expensive because I don't have money. If they ask me to pay, I will not be able to pay. Yes, I am, in God's name. And they told me that no worries. I don't need to pay, that it's free, that all I need to do is to answer a couple of questions. And they sent me the questions. I responded to the questions, and then I sent a picture. So another thing too, it was very good for me that at that point in time, I actually invested some money and got myself a proper headshot. Because at that time, I was thinking headshots are not important. But thankfully I had. It was for my birthday, and I used that headshot. And once that newspaper was featured, it went places.
Wow.
Yeah, some people, some important people and some certain organizations started seeing what I do, and some of them even they resonated with my work. And so opportunities started coming my way, funding opportunities started coming my way, speaking opportunities coming my way, more features as well, right? Invitations for some events, just to come and network with some people. And I felt like, wow, so is this how it is? And of course, ever since then, it has just been, going and going. And it has really been a very fantastic journey. Yeah, fantastic.
That's the word. So the next question I'm going to ask is, all of this sounds really great. And I love the sound of it. And I'm always happy for you, as you know. Always happy for you.
I really always appreciate your support.
Yeah. I wonder if there are any... And... can you just remind me of the recent award? Because I want to celebrate that again.
So that's Women of the Future, 50 Rising Stars and ESG.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations. And you made it into the Financial Times, didn't you?
Yeah, that's the Financial Times.
Yeah, congratulations
that was
Financial
Times. What am I doing, Financial Times?
Welcome, Financial Times. So congratulations.
Thank
you. Had that. You've had so many different recognitions because of your work. And someone is probably inspired and also looking like, oh, her life looks so easy. It looks like she's always winning, she's always doing this, she's doing that. Is that what it is, or is there something we do not know? Are you always like celebrating? Are you always winning awards and having nice dinners and stuff?
I wish it was so. I mean, I want to always be winning, but of course I definitely don't always win. But of course, that's the, when you do win, I always like to, of course, curate my social media carefully so it appears that, oh, the only thing I post is only anytime I win a particular grant, or I got a particular feature, or I have something to congratulate myself about. But it's definitely not like that. But it's just I consciously decided that I want to focus on positive moments in my life rather than the negative ones. And for the negative ones, of course, I have my family, I have my friends, to support me. But yeah, there are definitely a lot of challenging moments. But what I try to do to be able to manage them, of course, is to really invest in my self-care, right? Because I work very hard. But at the same time, I also understand that, you work hard, but you also work smart, right? You don't overwork yourself and kill yourself, because life is short. You don't want to die early. You still have a lot to give to the world, and so it's very important for you to take care of yourself, to take care of your mental health, take care of your body. And so I always ensure that I maintain my work-life balance.
Yeah.
So I work hard and then I also rest. Okay. And in doing that, anytime I have, my, let's say, my flop era moments,
Yeah.
I definitely take my time to reflect, especially reminding myself of those positive moments.
Yeah.
Trying to use that to, while away I'm having all these rejections, I have grant, someone withdraws my grant, right? Or I apply for certain opportunity and I don't get it. Like I get to all the stages and just at the end for them to say sorry, you are not who we are looking for. So definitely there are challenges. I mean, when like for example, even just early this year, right? I mean, you know this, but the audience doesn't.
Tell us.
Yeah, but early this year, I've applied. I mean, even last year, like towards the end of the year, I applied for I applied for more than 50 opportunities. Wow. And all the 50 opportunities, none of them got me through. So then early this year, I was energized. I was like, okay, I'm going to try again. This is a new year. I'm going to do this. And I applied again. But unfortunately, of course, there were other issues like the USAID pullout that affected lots of NGOs, including my own NGO. And then also my job that I was doing had to end, abruptly. And so I was basically back in the job market because all my advocacy work that I do, my social entrepreneurship work, it doesn't exactly, provide revenue yet. Hopefully it will. And that's the reason why I did my MBA, because I wanted to be able to generate revenue and be able to invest like a social business, make impact and also make money. But unfortunately, it hasn't. So I was, broke. I was thinking, what am I going to do? How am I going to survive? I need to eat. I need to take care of my responsibilities, right? My financial responsibilities. So what am I going to do? And I started, watching YouTube, looking at ways, someone can generate income.
Yeah.
And then I realized that, I have all this while, like for the past 6 years, I've been building capacity. I have been mentoring people. Right? Is it not time for me to start monetizing some of the knowledge that I have gained over the years? At the beginning, I felt a bit uncomfortable, right, to put in price on certain things. But I realized that, it's not about that. Value becomes value. So you definitely need to do that.
Yeah.
And so that's when I started monetizing my knowledge, whenever I have a program or I'm speaking engagement, or maybe I'm teaching a masterclass, I'm facilitating a masterclass, I would put a little stipend for that. And little by little, my consulting career, started blooming. So I'm currently working as a research consultant with Women in Global Health. And it was interesting, but the way I even got that opportunity was because they saw what I was doing and they knew that I was just the right person for it, based on the fact that I have branded myself as a researcher. And so for the beneficiaries of my knowledge, they'll be able to do the same thing, you know. So I do this, so definitely I can teach other women and other people how to do this. And that's what I do. I teach female researchers how to be more visible. I teach female researchers how to communicate their research findings, and most importantly, how to publish and amplify their voices. And at the beginning, I thought that, this is what I do, but can I teach this? But yes, I was able to teach it, and it has been very, very successful so far. Apart from that, I've also, some of the amazing opportunities I got with the NGO that I've been working with for the past, volunteering with rather, for the past 10 years, TNCI. I was able to also monetize the fact that I can write grants. So sometimes if someone asks, we are looking for a grant writer, I can write a grant for you. But I can help you. I can guide you. Not that I'll write it for you.
Yeah. It's good you clarified.
Yeah, exactly. I can help you. I can guide you how to write a grant and collect a small fee for that as well. Or if maybe you want to publish a paper and you don't know how to go about it, I can also guide you and get a little bit of money from it as well. So services as such, or maybe you have a project and you want to evaluate your project,
Yeah.
like the way I used to do initially, where we would design a public health intervention, then implement it, and now you want to evaluate whether it was actually successful, and if not, what went wrong and how can it improve. So that's what I also do as well.
That's
And yeah,
very
so I started
interesting.
realizing that all these skills can be monetized, and
Yeah.
they should be monetized. I shouldn't, give it out for free. I mean, I can still do
You
that.
have done a lot of giving
Yes.
out for free
Yes,
anyway.
I have.
So,
I
yeah.
have.
You've
And
paid your dues.
yes, I've definitely paid my dues. But of course, I still do for some, especially for students, and some other early career professionals. I still do that because I just love sharing knowledge. I believe that
Yeah.
once you get an opportunity, it's very important for you to share it with others so that
Okay.
everyone else can succeed as well.
Yeah.
But of course, there also comes a time that there are certain type of knowledge that you have to pay for.
That is really good. And you know what it struck me when you said between, I don't know if it was, you said towards the end of this year, last year to this year something, you applied to about 50 different opportunities.
And I didn't get even one.
Wow.
Yeah.
And no one knew that, because I know you bit of a night owl. I don't know if you still are. That you probably spent time like your midnights writing applications, or maybe just sat in your room or office writing all of these things. So for example, if you sent out 50 applications and then you end up winning one, and then you post that one on social media, people are like, oh, she's so lucky, she's
Yeah,
so
exactly,
good. No one
exactly.
knows that you spent so much time doing all of these things.
Yeah, nobody knows the fact that you have some sleepless nights because you are writing your grant, or for example, maybe you are very sad because you didn't get certain things, or even the type of sacrifices you have to make. Maybe you want to spend time sometimes with friends or family, but you have to tell them, oh no, I need to go back so that I can write my grant.
Yeah.
And sometimes that doesn't even work out. So you now
Yeah.
lose on both ends.
Oh
You
my.
feel so
Yeah.
bad about it.
So
But yeah, the fact is, what I've just realized is that, sometimes you just have to apply for lots of
Yeah.
opportunities. But of course, strategically, it's not just you apply for anything that you see. No, it's something that aligns with your work, the
Yeah.
type of interest you have, right? But at the same time, sometimes it just doesn't work out. And when it does, it now makes it look as if it's back to back. Because some of these opportunities I just recently got, right? I don't even remember. I mean, some of them someone nominated me.
Yeah.
Some of them I had to self-nominate, and some of them I had to apply.
yeah.
And so once they started coming my way, it was just like back to back to back. So
Yeah.
it looks like, oh, I'm
Yeah.
just, this is my year or something. I mean,
Yeah.
I hope
It's,
so.
it's good. Yeah, it's good.
Well, I hope so.
It's
But
good.
it's not exactly that, oh, it's just, like that. It just happened to be this way, which I
Yeah.
am very grateful for.
Yeah.
But there are certain seasons where it might be just once. Like, for example, last year, I won 2 things, and those are the things that I was very happy with. So one was the fact that I got the Study UK Alumni Award for social action.
Yes.
So they basically saw my work that I did as a UK alumni and also as a Chevening scholar. Because you know how Chevening is. You have to come back to your home country and develop it,
Yeah.
at least for 2 years,
Yeah.
and do what you can. And so I felt very happy because this is what I did, right? And I got back, and now the UK government, British Council, is actually recognizing me for that. And of course, for the work that I've done, the
Yeah.
impact that I have
Yeah.
made. So I felt very happy about that and appreciated. And similarly, the research grant I also got. So that was my first research grant in my name.
Wow.
And so I felt, of course, very, very accomplished. Like, oh, wow, you mean you gave me this amount of money to do this, my research?
Yeah. So the reason I spent a bit of time on that is that I just wanted us to establish that it might not. There may be challenges, and I'm very glad that you're open to sharing that with us. What is special about Cassandra that has made her win all of these things? I know you just sort of answered that, but I want you to give me what is it that is making these things work out for you in the way that they are?
Well, let me think, because to be honest, it's not like I know it all. I just more like just do trial and error.
Yeah.
But what I've realized, when I think back, about my early years, is that I've always been consistent. Consistency is key. So whether I'm depressed, whether I'm happy, I keep constantly working on my social media presence. So because you need to stay relevant.
Yeah.
You need to be updated about what is going on in your core area. And in my case, it's global health.
Yeah.
Right? So you need to be relevant. You need to be updated. You need to know what's going on. And you also need to network.
So be consistent, stay relevant, network.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
And by consistency, I mean that you always have to ensure that, you are in the game. Because if you just go for a while, disappear, you can do that because maybe you are taking care of your mental health, you need some, to retreat a bit. But you just need to ensure that when you do come back, at least there has to be some type of regular interval. I'm too hard on myself when it comes to certain things. I'm like, no, you have to do better. You have to improve on this. You have to improve on that. But I think sometimes I realize that, you shouldn't be so hard on yourself, right? You should cut yourself some slack.
Yeah.
Right? And so that's why
I think there's a thin line for you. Correct me, I might be wrong. I think there's a thin line between being self-critical and being self-aware, because sometimes we have conversations, I'm like, you're very self-aware, which is also very good. So it's also being mindful to not go to the other extreme end, which might be being self-critical, too self-critical. Yeah. And I want us to give some, so thank you for all the value. I want us to give some value to whoever is watching us a bit more.
Yeah.
So if there is someone who's probably like a very young person who is watching us right now and who's always admired you or does not even know about you but has seen this video, this conversation, and is wondering, oh, that's really good. What would you say would be, if you had to advise someone, what would be your words of advice to someone who wants to be great at what they do and succeed based on your experience in life?
Based on my experience in life, there's so many lessons, and I think I've mentioned some of them here before. But I think most importantly is just knowing yourself, right? Knowing your strengths, knowing your weaknesses. And so once you know that, you can now be able to maximize your strengths.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and in a way, you've mentioned it, being self-aware.
Yeah.
Because I know my weaknesses and I know my strengths. And then I also know that there are some zones I wouldn't want to go to. But because of the type of work I do, I just have to carry myself from that zone and carry myself from the comfort zone and go into a zone that is not very familiar to me. But at the same time, succeed there too as well.
Okay.
So you can't always be happy with status quo.
Yeah.
You need to, be ambitious and look for ways to improve. And in everything that you do, you always need to put your best foot forward. You always have to be intentional. You shouldn't take anything, with a grain of salt or just like that, like nonchalant attitude.
Yeah.
No. You have to be very serious about everything. If it is social media, if it is your career, if it is building friendships, everything has to be done very intentional. And I know it might sound like, you are taking life too seriously. But I just believe that, the key to success sometimes is actually taking things seriously.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And like you said, in as much as you do that, you also make time to rest. So there is time for everything.
Exactly. And so even when you are, like, I don't joke with my self-care.
Yeah.
I don't joke with it at all. Whenever I travel, I always, like, for example, now, currently that I'm in the UK, I knew that, okay, I have back-to-back events that are very important, where I'm going to speak, where I'm going to engage. I have to apply my critical thinking skills. But I also knew that there will be a time that I've already scheduled and ensured is that I'm going to have some fun time.
I want you to take a moment, go back in time in your head. Imagine your younger self, like young Cassandra. When you think of that,
To me,
at what age, what picture do you have in your mind? What mental
I
picture
think
do
I
you
have
have?
a picture of myself when I was 15.
15.
Yes.
Okay.
still an adolescent, still, looking out and thinking, what's going on? How do I succeed in life?
Mm-hmm. So what would you just imagine her? What would you tell her today?
Today,
If you had to say something to your younger self, what would you say to her?
what I'll say to her is just be kind to yourself. Be very kind to yourself. Love yourself. Appreciate yourself. Celebrate every little win you get and enjoy that moment. Because, life is short. Before you know it, certain things happen. And since you didn't really take that time to appreciate those moments, the moment is gone. And then you're on to the next thing.
Yeah.
So I will say that be kind and appreciate each moment and celebrate each moment.
Yeah.
Don't wait for one big thing before you start celebrating yourself, or start thinking that you've reached certain accomplishment or certain milestone. No,
Yeah.
celebrate every little win that you get. And celebrate it like
Yeah.
like your life depends on it, because it's one of those things. You feel, you make yourself happy, and you need to make yourself happy so that you get motivated to continue doing the work that you have decided to, that you've chosen to do.
On that note, you mentioned be kind to yourself. What does kindness mean to you?
Kindness, well, I mean, pampering yourself, taking very good care of yourself, and not focusing too much on work itself, right? Just taking care of yourself.
So that's being kind to yourself.
Be kind to yourself.
How about the
And
general?
don't even criticize yourself so much, like
Too
the way I criticize myself in everything. Like sometimes I even have like maybe speaking engagements, and I'll be like, no, I should have spoken, I should have said it this way. Like, why can't I say it this way? And I just realized that I should stop it. The fact is, it was good. The feedback was great. Why am I still criticizing myself? One thing is if, yeah.
I was just going to say, which is why self-awareness is good, because you're talking about it because you noticed it.
Yeah.
And you're self-aware.
If I had stopped that, a long time ago, I'm sure that my life would have been better.
Oh, you're doing great. So generally, how about general kindness? What does kindness generally mean to you?
For me, it's just, empathy, right? Just being aware that, and that's what I mentioned, like, from childhood, that I just realized that, sometimes we're in privileged positions and we don't even know it, right? At least some of us, always had three meals a day, but there are people who don't have that, right? And so when these things are happening, you should always put yourself in people's shoes and try to do your best and help them, right?
Okay.
Don't feel that, I don't owe anybody anything, right? No, do help, use your resources, use your mind, It doesn't have to even be like financial or something. You can just mentor somebody, you can just share a quote with somebody to encourage somebody, You can just, of course, you can also provide financial support if it's necessary, but just even giving a kind word to somebody can change someone's life. Yeah.
Finally, what's next for you? What do you?
My next phase, well, so next thing for me is to really focus on consulting, into public health consulting, and keep building my social ventures, because I really want to make a lot of impact with them, specifically in terms of improving access to clean water and empowering communities to live healthier lives, and of course improving health outcomes for both women and children, and combating health disparities, because it's always something that makes me, it's one of those things that, as I know, I'm so passionate about it, because which sometimes I feel like, why do I carry so much thoughts, but that's just me. I don't feel accomplished until I solve certain problems, because it bothers me. I want people to be healthy. I want people to be happy. And I want specifically children, the next generation, to live to their full potential. I don't want them to feel that they can't achieve certain things in life, due to maybe their race or their tribe or their religion, or their socio-economic status, or their culture. No, I want everyone to have the same um,
Opportunities.
that I had.
Well done. It's good we're ending the conversation on the note of kindness.
Aww.
And thank you so much for your kindness.
Thank you.
And we have something to say thank you.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh my God, Zarina.
This is a token to say thank you very much for your kindness and for being kind and for coming around.
Thank you so much. I really
Yeah.
appreciate
You're
this.
welcome. So